Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is quickly approaching the all-time high after just confirming the largest green weekly candle in Bitcoin's entire price history. While in the short term, there's still some new signals showing up that we need to pay attention to. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside Ethereum, which is on the edge of a major breakout, along with other altcoins already breaking out further to the upside. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video. So definitely watch to the end. First of all, taking a look at the weekly Bitcoin charts, because just over the last one day, we've seen another weekly candle close confirm, and this has officially confirmed the largest weekly candle, green weekly candle in Bitcoin's entire price history in terms of the dollar gain, not the percent gain. And so when we're looking at the linear scale chart, this is looking at the dollar gains rather than the percent gains. We can clearly see that this last weekly candle over the last 1 week is the largest green weekly candle in Bitcoin's entire price history. We've never seen a green weekly candle as big as last week. And so this just goes to show the power of Bitcoin right now, and especially the power of the Bitcoin ETFs, which are rapidly accumulating a lot of Bitcoin, which I've been talking about basically every weekday when they've been trading here on the channel. And of course, today is Monday, so the US stock market opens back up again, which means the Bitcoin ETFs begin trading again. So we could potentially see more and more inflows if history repeats. And so once again, if we continue to see more inflows like what we saw last week and multiple weeks before that, then of course, those massive inflows buying up more and more Bitcoin for the Bitcoin ETFs are clearly going to push the price of Bitcoin much higher. And also, now that we've seen a weekly candle close confirm above this previous Fibonacci level, technically speaking, that previous level should become new support, just in case we saw a pullback. Of course, that does not necessarily have to happen. It's just in case we see a pullback, then I would expect support around 57 to 58,000. But obviously, right now, we're actually getting extremely close to the all-time high against the US dollar. And in fact, right now, Bitcoin's already breaking into new all-time highs against other fiat currencies like the Australian dollar or the Japanese yen or the euro, for example. And so all we're waiting on now is simply a breakout above the US dollar all-time high, which at this rate could happen any day now. Because as of right now, at the time of recording this video, from the current Bitcoin price to the all-time record high, the highest price it's ever been in history against the US dollar, we only need around a 5 to 6% move to the upside to hit that all-time high. And just for comparison, the last weekly candle from the weekly candle open to the weekly candle close was a 22% gain in a single week. And so once again, if we continue at this pace, honestly, any day now, we could pump into new all-time highs. And so as I've been saying over and over again here on the channel for over a year now, since all the way back down here, I'm still extremely bullish on the price of Bitcoin when we're talking about the larger bullish trend here on the weekly time frame. And also this bullish move that we're seeing at the moment was foreshadowed by the tether printing that we saw just yesterday, which I talked about in my last video. Because just yesterday, Tether printed another 1 billion USDT, adding to the Tether market cap, the USDT market cap. And usually when Tether prints USDT, we usually end up seeing more bullish price action for Bitcoin and really the overall crypto market. And if you want to know more details about this chart right here and why Tether prints USDT and why that's bullish, then check out my last video here on the channel, because I covered all of that in much more detail in my last video. But anyway, getting into this daily Bitcoin chart, and right now the trend is still clearly bullish, forming higher lows and higher highs. And right now we're still clearly seeing bullish momentum here in the daily Bitcoin MACD. And so as I've been saying for a while now, once again, the larger trend and momentum is still very bullish. And of course, during a bullish trend, obviously we can see short-term pauses from that trend from time to time, or even some slight pullbacks in the short term. But ultimately, that does not necessarily change the fact that we are still trending in the bullish direction. And of course, over the weekend and also on the Thursday and the Friday, because on Thursday and Friday, we didn't really see a lot of new inflows from the ETFs on Thursday and Friday. And of course, over the weekend, the ETFs were not trading. And so due to that, we mostly saw choppy sideways price action in the short term over the Thursday and Friday, and especially on the weekend, which is something that I expected just in the short term, basically a bit of a pause from this bullish price action. But as I also said on the weekend, perhaps on Monday, we could end up seeing the resumption of the larger bullish trend, especially if we're seeing more inflows from the Bitcoin ETFs. And so that's potentially what we could see very soon and could be starting right now, potentially another leg to the upside in this bullish trend that we're already in, because of course we were only just taking a bit of a short-term break from that bullish trend over the weekend and on the Thursday and Friday when we weren't really seeing a lot of inflows on those days. And if we end up seeing a significant inflow into the Bitcoin ETFs today or tomorrow or really any day, it does not matter really what the RSI is telling us, because of course right now the RSI is still overbought on the daily time frame. But regardless of what the RSI is telling us, of course, for example, if BlackRock buys $500 million worth of Bitcoin in a single day, obviously $500 million pumping into Bitcoin is going to raise the price of Bitcoin, despite what one technical indicator says on the chart. And so that's why I've also been extra clear, basically explaining this in every video, that perhaps over the weekend, we could see the price respect these indicators more often. But during the weeks, on the weekdays, when the Bitcoin ETFs are trading, honestly, it would be hard to see any significant pullback if we're seeing a lot of the inflows as we've been seeing recently. And if we're taking a look at this 8-hour Bitcoin chart, of course, right now, we're potentially forming a new bearish divergence on the 8-hour time frame, with higher highs in the price in the 8-hour candle closes and lower highs in the 8-hour Bitcoin RSI. But it is important to mention the fact that right now, this possible bearish divergence that is forming is not yet confirmed, because even though we've confirmed the higher high in the price action, we have not yet fully confirmed this lower high in place here in the 8-hour Bitcoin RSI. Because, for example, if we continue to see more green candles show up in the Bitcoin price, then that can raise the RSI further to the upside. And if the RSI breaks out above this previous high, then obviously higher highs in the price and higher highs in the RSI means they're not diverging. And so ultimately, what we need to see to actually confirm this possible bearish divergence in the short term is a couple red candles actually confirming here in the 8-hour time frame, kind of similar to what we saw back here. Because as you can see right around here, we saw 2 red candles confirm after a bit of a sideways consolidation, and that dropped the RSI, actually confirming that lower high in place in the RSI. And at that point, obviously, this short-term bearish divergence continued to play out in the price of Bitcoin over the next 1 to 1.5 weeks, mostly in the form of choppy sideways price action, which is one of the most likely outcomes from a bearish divergence, also alongside a slight pullback. And so remember, even if this actually confirms, of course, we could end up seeing just a sideways consolidation before heading higher later on, like what we saw back here. And also keep in mind that right now it's not yet confirmed, and today's a weekday, and we still have the rest of the week ahead of us where the Bitcoin ETFs are trading. And speaking of trading, personally, when it comes to taking trades in the price of any crypto, personally, I trade over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And in fact, if you use that link down below this video, it will take you to this page right here where you can claim a free 200 USDT airdrop position over on Bybit, but only if you use the link down below this video. Because this airdrop over on Bybit is exclusive for only those of you who use that link down below. And on top of that, there is also up to a $30,000 deposits bonus if you make a deposit on that account, but once again, only using that link. And so if you're trading crypto anyway, you might as well check out that link down below this video if you want to get those extra bonuses or claim this airdrop right here. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And also right now, there is an exclusive Apple Watch Series 9 giveaway happening over at Bitflex, but only if you use the link down below this video. And so if you're trading crypto anyway, or if you're preparing to take the next trade, you might as well get set up ready to go on one of those exchanges using those links down below this video if you want to get those extra bonuses or enter those giveaways. And if we're zooming into the much shorter term, looking at the 1-hour Bitcoin chart, obviously over the last one day, we've finally officially confirmed a breakout above this horizontal line of resistance, which was sitting at around 63,000. And as I mentioned recently here on the channel, once we finally confirm a breakout above 63,000, of course, that will be the bullish short-term signal telling us that we're finally continuing the larger bullish trend that's been playing out this entire time. And so once again, that's potentially what's happening right now, which is simply continuing the larger bullish trend with another leg to the upside. And if we're taking a look at the Ethereum to US dollar chart on the weekly time frame, right now the price of ETH is also potentially about to break out above critical resistance and possibly about to have another major leg to the upside in this larger bullish trend. Because as of right now, the price of ETH is testing the very top side of this area of resistance, which, by the way, the top side of this area, if we're looking at these previous weekly candle closes, is sitting just above 3.5K. And once again, right now, the price is sitting on the edge of that area of resistance, right at around these previous candle closes, at this previous high that we saw in around March of 2022. And as I've said recently on the channel, once we finally confirm a breakout above around 3,500, ideally with a weekly candle close well above 3,500, then in that case, this area of resistance in between 3.4K to 3.5K will become a new support. And on top of that, the next significant resistance to the upside is simply the all-time high, which is sitting at around 4.8 to 4.9K. And so once again, right now, the price of ETH is potentially on the edge of a major breakout, but we have not yet fully confirmed this breakout yet for the price of ETH. But with that being said, we're still clearly within a larger bullish trend here on the weekly time frame, as I've been saying over and over again for a long time now on the channel, forming significant higher lows and higher highs here on the weekly time frame. And something similar can be said about the daily time frame. Obviously, right now we're clearly trending in the bullish direction, despite what happens on smaller time frames. And right now, we clearly have a lot of bullish momentum here in the daily Ethereum MACD, which is pushing the price much higher in this bullish trend. And obviously, right now, the RSI is still overbought on the daily time frame, which technically means we're somewhat overheated, at least in the short term. And over the weekend, we did see a little bit of a slowdown. We saw a couple of red daily candle closes here over the last half a week or so. But remember, as I've been saying, ultimately, we're still within a bullish trend, despite what happens in the short term. And remember, during the week, on the weekdays, when we're seeing those Bitcoin ETFs trading, if we're seeing a lot of inflows into the Bitcoin ETFs, that can pump Bitcoin, which can also pump the overall crypto market, including Ethereum. And that can be due to a couple of different reasons. First of all, of course, if Bitcoin holders are making a lot of profits, some of the Bitcoin holders out there might sell some of their Bitcoin in profits to actually buy some altcoins in order to potentially make some more gains. And so that way, if their ETFs are giving liquidity to Bitcoin, Bitcoin holders are actually giving liquidity to altcoins. And on top of that, of course, another reason is simply due to the fact that if Bitcoin is pumping into record highs, of course, that's going to bring in a lot of new people into crypto overall. And so that's why if Bitcoin is in a bullish market pumping to the upside, that is usually bullish for the rest of the crypto market, generally speaking. Of course, there's always going to be outliers, but usually most of the crypto market kind of moves together. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the weekly time frame, obviously right now we're still within the larger bullish trend on the weekly chart, along with multiple other coins. But right now, just in the short term, the price of Solana is still running into this important area of resistance, sitting in between around $120 to $140. But ultimately, when we eventually confirm a breakout above $140, then in that case, we could potentially start targeting towards the previous all-time high, which is sitting at around $250 to $260. And of course, usually when we break out above resistance, that previous resistance becomes new support within the bullish trend. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Cardano on the daily time frame, of course, right now, the price of Cardano is continuing to break out further to the upside, exactly as expected. Because I shared this exact breakout trading opportunity before we saw the breakout. A couple of days just before we saw the breakout right down here, I said here on the channel that we have a bullish cup and handle pattern, which could also be seen as a bullish inverse head and shoulders pattern. But either way, all we needed to see was a confirmed breakout above this line right here, and ideally above this previous high. First of all, this line was sitting at around 64 cents, and this high was sitting at around 67 cents. And both an inverse head and shoulders pattern and a cup and handle pattern will give us the same bullish price target, which for Cardano right here was sitting at around 87 cents. And so just for example, with no leverage from the point of the breakout to where we are right now, that's around a 22% gain if you simply bought Cardano with no leverage. Or let's just say if you entered a trade after we saw a breakout above this previous high, from that previous high to where we are right now, that's still around a 15 to 16% gain to the upside just in a few days. And of course, if you took a leveraged long position, for example, a 10x leverage trade from this breakout to where we are right now, that would be around a 220% profit just in about 4 to 5 days. And so this is why it is important to subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on, because whenever I see these trading opportunities, I'll make sure to share them here in these videos. But of course, right now the price still has a little way to go before the price target. In fact, around a 12% move to the upside from where we are right now, or from the highest point so far, that's still around a 9% move to the upside towards this price target before we actually complete the pattern. And once again, if you actually want to take these trades for yourself, then check out those links down below this video to Bybit or Bitflex if you want to get those extra bonuses or claim that airdrop or enter that giveaway. And if you want to actually know how to take these trades in the price of any crypto, no matter if we are bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.